Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are on Friday morning. We have our Bible study tonight. Looking forward to that. Great things are breaking out in the church, and it's great to see how God is so faithful to His promises and what He does when we are determined to chase after His heart. So it's going to be short and sweet this morning because I'm a little late running out the door to get to the co-op to do the boys' Bible study, and. So we were reading through Matthew 15 and Mark 7 this morning, and in here we find Jesus talking. The Pharisees and experts came to him to criticize his disciples for not washing their hands. It's a ceremony thing that they did, and they're accusing him of not following the traditions that were passed down by the forefathers. And Jesus says, well, you guys are an expert at not following the commandments of God. And he pointed out some examples for them of things that they do where they overwrite God's commands with man's traditions. And that's an important point, and one that I've heard preached on so many times. But I don't think we delve into it enough. We don't look at it. We accept that and say, hey, we're not going to do that. But every denomination guards their things, guards their traditions, and yeah. And the thing is that, to be honest, it's much easier being controlled than to be free. You can shut your brain off. You can just do what you're told to do, and you study what you're being taught, but you don't go beyond that. It's so much easier to follow the rules than to enter into relationship. It's so much easier to know God's laws over knowing God. It's so much easier to possess His ways than to possess God. Relationship costs. Relationship is a matter of the heart, whereas rules are just a matter of the brain. You just follow, and it doesn't require relationship, but yet it's relationship that we've been called into. God is more concerned about the condition of our heart because that's what contaminates people. That's what Jesus was explaining, that if it's our heart that's possessed by these things, those things are going to be spoken to other people. And it's so true, and we should know that with some of the exercises that we've been going through, that you're going to speak into people's lives how you imagine God is. How you imagine God is the most important thing in your life. That will determine so much. How you see people, how you talk to people, how you see yourself, the whole bit. Most of us don't even want to consider ourselves. We don't want to consider what God has spoken over us because that really requires relationship. It's like, I don't need to know, just tell me what the rules are, I'll follow the rules. And that's why, even though we're not, even though we're not Old Testament people, it's still easier for us to follow the rules of the Old Testament. And that's not what Jesus died for. Jesus died to open the door for us to enter into the kingdom. And it's more important that we be than we do. We put the doing before the being. He went to the cross. He died, buried, rose, ascended, so that we have the potential to become the children of God. And all those who believe become the children of God. But belief just doesn't sit on the shelf. The belief does. But belief is being. Belief is being. We have to be the children of God first. We have to be His sons and daughters. We have to understand that in our being we are members of the royal family. And it's from that position of being that we move into doing. We can't be that without also responding to the priorities of our Father's heart. And that's what we do. We move from that position of being to carrying out Father's priorities. We go out on assignments and missions and such. But we are constantly in that, we're told that we're seated at the right hand of the Father in Jesus Christ. That's where we are. That's our home. We are being. We are. That's what we are. And it's so much more important, so much more powerful than just the doing. The doing is really the overflow of the heart. It's the overflow of the being. It's the overflow of being the children of God. And that's where we need to be. If we try to follow the rules, man, we're going to fall apart. We're going to blow it. We're going to feel guilty. We're going to beat ourselves up. It's going to be a constant war in us. But when we exist as the children of God, then the being actually covers those rules. It's written on our heart. We do it by accident. It's who we become, and we grow into it. Obviously, we mature. We grow into it. But the maturity comes with knowing the Father better. Moses said, "Show me your ways, so that I may know you." And it's when we examine his desire for us, when we examine his desire, when we examine how things work, when we understand how things work in the kingdom, we really get to know his heart. And yeah. Anyway, I did say I had to make this quick, didn't I? Because I have to get going. So I'm going to leave it there. We'll pick it up later. And you be blessed today. And just practice being today. Just practice being. Be the child of God. Understand what he has spoken over you. Understand who he is. And understand what his priorities are. And then we'll act in love. And that's what he wants us to do. That's what it's all about. So you'll be blessed, be encouraged, be powerful today. Live intentionally.